Caught my husband swapping my eggs with his ideal woman's before our IVF procedure. I didn't say a word, but switched the eggs back. And while I was at it, I replaced my husband's sperm with my ex-boyfriend's. 25 years later, the other woman showed up at our door, crying hysterically to my daughter. "Sweetie, I'm your real mother." My daughter Zixi and I had just returned home from an overseas medical cooperation project when we were greeted by an unexpected scene. Our house was filled with distant relatives we rarely saw. It looked like a Johnson family reunion. The most eye-catching figure was Brianna White, sobbing dramatically in the center of the sofa. Gregory Johnson, my perpetually absent good husband, was comforting her with tender words and gestures. I raised an eyebrow, set my suitcase aside, and turned to Gregory. "What's the special occasion? Why such a crowd?" Zixi followed behind me, arms crossed, and a look of disgust on her face as she stared at Brianna. She had already guessed this woman's identity. My mother-in-law sat in the main seat, her expression troubled and hesitant. Before Gregory could speak, Brianna lunged towards Zixi, crying, "My darling daughter, I'm your real mother." Zixi nimbly dodged her, her face contorted with revulsion, as if Brianna were something filthy. She stepped back and said coldly, "My mom's name is Kaya Hansen. That's my girl, always my little sweetheart." I took Zixi's hand, giving her a reassuring look, then raised my other hand and slapped Brianna across the face. The sharp sound echoed through the living room. "Don't go claiming false relationships," I said, my voice icy and my gaze sharp as a knife. Gregory jumped up, tenderly helping Brianna to her feet. He pointed at me and shouted, "Kaya, have you lost your mind? How dare you hit Brianna?" He raised his hand, about to strike me. Quick as lightning, Zixi stepped forward and slapped Gregory. "You dare hit my mom?" Zixi's voice wasn't loud, but it carried an undeniable authority. Gregory froze, both angry and shocked. He raised his hand again, this time to hit Zixi, but Brianna grabbed him, fake crying. "Gregory, don't. She's our daughter." Her act of a caring mother made me want to vomit. Gregory lowered his hand, glaring fiercely at Zixi. "If it weren't for your real mother's sake, I'd teach you a lesson right now." Zixi let out a cold laugh. "Huh, I'd like to see you try." Her piercing gaze was just like mine when I was young. I felt a surge of pride. This was indeed the daughter I had carefully raised. An elder cleared his throat, attempting to calm the chaotic scene. "Everyone quiet down." His deep voice carried an undeniable authority. As the room gradually fell silent, all eyes turned to the elder. He looked at Gregory. "Gregory, why did you call everyone here? What's going on?" Gregory took a deep breath, as if gathering courage. He put his arm around Brianna's shoulders, looking deeply in love. "Actually, I have an important announcement to make today." He paused, his gaze sweeping across the room before finally landing on Zixi and me. I watched him silently, wondering what kind of show he was going to put on. "Zixi, she's not Kaya's biological daughter," Gregory said, his voice low, but the impact as explosive as a bomb in the living room. Zixi whipped her head around to look at me, her eyes full of shock. I gestured for her to stay calm. The relatives around us began to whisper, like a group of sharks that had caught the scent of blood, stirring excitedly. "Back when we did the IVF," Gregory paused, as if it was difficult to continue. "The doctor said Kaya's eggs weren't good enough. To spare her feelings about being a mother, I switched them with Brianna's. This idiot was actually trying to pin the blame on me for his sneaky behavior." Gregory's malicious gaze fell on me, seemingly waiting for me to lose control in anger. But I remained calm and composed, forcing him to continue his performance. "I called everyone here today to witness." He looked at Brianna with apparent deep affection, Zixi recognizing her birth mother. The relatives immediately erupted into discussion. "If Zixi isn't Kaya's daughter, of course she should recognize her birth mother. That's right. Kaya has occupied the position of Johnson family's daughter-in-law for so many years. It's time for her to step down."